Welcome, world, to the RC Air Experience, episode 38. We've got Ben B here with us. I'm not going to say Ben's last name because I can't. I can butcher it, but I'm just Ben B from Flyride RC. If you guys are fans of the lighter side of RC, you have seen Ben's stuff a lot over the past year and a bit on our channel. So, welcome, Ben. We've got Anthony from FPV Builds, of course, my co host, and me, Jonathan, from the lighter side of RC. It's going to be a great discussion today. Thanks, Ben.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks
You
for coming
got
on.
Yeah.
John's gonna lead the charge on this one because, as I said to Ben a few minutes ago, I've seen your stuff and I've seen your stuff with a bunch of different creators and stuff. A couple of people I actually talk to actually do use your products, but in complete and total honesty, I don't own anything expensive enough to use your stands.
We'll have to
So,
change that. We'll have to work on that.
right. I'm trust me, I'm trying to work on that. You know, I keep looking at turbines and stuff. I was on Zukoi's website the other day. I'm hoping they come out with that little 35 Newton one that they're talking about coming
Oh
out.
yeah, yeah.
Well, they are. They have ditched their 45, and now they're going to be coming out with a 52, 53, I think, or
Yeah, I
54.
saw that.
Yeah,
It's like a 52, I think, or
yeah, exactly.
yeah. And then they might go with the 35 if they see that there's enough interest in it, I guess. That's what I
Yeah,
was
we'll
reading
see.
on the site.
It was a hobby thing for Gaspar, and I think maybe I can't remember who the actual guy was that did all the design for it and stuff. One of his guys that was there working with him. So
It'd be interesting to get one of those guys on because in my head, like, can't you just shrink the parts like in whatever CAD program you're using, right? Like
well,
it
and we're completely diverging from
all
Ben's
right,
stuff, but
we're gonna get on to Ben. But
it's the one thing about the turbines is yes, you can shrink everything down, but if you got to remember that as the tolerances get smaller, everything gets more complicated, right? So
right,
like the fuel needles, the injector needles on a 45 Newton engine, they're like injection needles, like they're
right.
microscopic, right? So um you go down to a 30 and everything gets more fine, more, so and most people want to see a lower price point because they
Right.
feel that the engine is smaller when
Right.
in actual fact, like,
It's
they
gonna
they
be
should
more.
almost be the same price, right?
I
Yeah.
read
Right.
that in
Exactly.
their comments actually about the 35. They said even though this is going to be a smaller motor, it's gonna
Yeah.
cost about the same as the 52.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry for diverting, Ben.
No, it's
What I've
good.
seen of your stuff so far, you make some really nice quality stuff. So
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. No, I appreciate John and all your support with the what you've given me too for using my products on your show, and it's always
For sure.
always awesome to tune in and see some of my stuff back there. I think I've always been pretty clear. Like I only want content creators using my stuff if they actually really like
Yeah.
it and find it useful. Like I don't want anybody using anything out of, any other arrangement other than you find it, useful and it makes the hobby more enjoyable for you. That was kind of my whole goal with this.
Yeah, and it definitely, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna focus, but I've got the big F4 back there sitting on your stand right now.
Cool.
Got the P47 underway right behind me. That's on your stand right now.
That's cool.
It's pretty wild. I mean, I use them now all the time. They're amazing.
I see you using the adjustable saddles a little bit more too. I think you
Yeah,
kind of find the use on those. Yeah, they're
yeah,
kind of
for
hold the
sure.
plane a little better for sure. I like them too. I'll be putting them on that one in a little bit. Like a couple chop stands I have, I tend to use those more than the other ones.
Nice. So a bit of history between us is so how Ben and I actually met. I mean, I didn't really know you existed before. I think
Yeah,
it was Frode in
yeah,
Norway, right?
yep,
So
yep,
I was working on, or I had Frode's large Skymaster F4 here,
yep.
and I think he contacted you,
You did. Yep.
and I don't even think he told me anything. I think I got an email from Flyride RC that there's some stuff coming,
Yeah.
and then he contacted me and said your Christmas presents should be there soon. So,
Yep.
anyways, and that's how we kind of met, and that
Yeah.
was so that was a year and a bit ago, I guess, two
Yeah, I
Christmases.
think I think it was after Christmas. It was late. I believe it was January, February timeframe.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he had ordered a few products and he goes, "These things are great." He goes, "I know Jonathan will get use out of them." I'm like, "I've never spoken with him." And he goes, "Would you send him one if I, send it to him as a gift?" Well, of course I would. That's from you. So,
yeah.
that was pretty cool. Yeah, Fro's an awesome guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so that was kind of where we
Yeah.
kind of jumped off.
Yeah. We,
And
I think we
I
did a
gotta,
giveaway right away too,
yeah,
early
yeah,
on last
I
year.
gotta say the changes you've made over the past year have been a lot,
Yeah,
and they've all been good, and it's really cool to see. Like I've got one of I'll just call it the Gen One stand.
yeah,
I've got that Gen One
yeah,
stand, that first one that you shipped here,
yeah.
and I mean now the stands are very refined,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah,
congratulations on all the
I
changes.
would
It's
ask
been
that you dispose of that Gen 1 stand or do something.
I was just gonna ask that. So
Yeah,
for somebody who doesn't know or doesn't use the product, I've seen you come out with a lot of updates. Like I've seen the different colors and all
yeah,
kinds of stuff that I've
yep.
seen you been progressing with the product. Are they like are the updated parts and stuff that you've made for it? Can they be used on Gen 1 or is Gen 2 like a
I bet.
fresh?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, like I initially started out with using pull pins. You have a concept in mind. I think a lot of times you build the concept, you proof it, you roll it out, right? Like I think a lot of people in business, and especially with products, they just kind of get caught up in refining the product too much before they put it to the market. If you have a good idea, if you have something that's useful, get it out there.
yeah,
Get some feedback because your customers are going to give you the feedback that they want. That makes most sense. You can kind of get in your own head with that stuff. So I think like I built that stand because I needed it. I mean, it was they say necessity's mother of invention is, necessity. And it's like, I needed something that I could work on, that I could pull the plane in by me, and I could adjust it to a comfortable height or adjust it to wherever you want to support the plane that just works. And there was nothing out there. So I'm like, I had another product that I had already in place that was using some of this same parts, rolling gantries and that extrusion and things like that. And I was just kind of looking at my plane one day, sitting on some cheap plastic stand I had. I don't know what it was. And I'm like, I think I could put something together here that would work. Kind of concepted in my head, and then just kind of put one together one afternoon. I'm like, oh, this actually works. And then from there, I kind of refined that one. But yeah, the first ones had the folding in legs,
yeah.
but the actual caster bases didn't swing in. So you had this big nasty piece sitting under there, and it was kind of hard. And one day I was working, and I thought, wow, it'd be nice if that could swing in too. I'm like, you kind of hit yourself going, how'd you miss that? Like how did you miss it? But it is part of refinement. And I think like as the products go on, I built so many of these now, and there's still a lot of it just came from, production standards where you're trying to increase your efficiency. And, you know, I work in production for actual uh, career, and a lot of it is that refinement in your processes and things like that. So I kind of apply a lot of those principles, and it does come out into the product, when you're making it. So yeah, change is important to me. I always want to see my products evolve. And I appreciate that you guys have noticed that, Jonathan. I know you have seen it because you work with them. You get latest versions and things like that. Um, the pull pins, that was David's idea that he gave us at Jonal. So that was on my mind the minute I came back. I'm like, he's right. How do I make this work? And you get feedback, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
So for somebody who isn't using it, right?
Mhm.
You can see it on the website, obviously, but I know also it does CG too, right? Like, or
So the
did it do
stand does it.
CG?
That's one of my other products. Yeah, I have a balancing jig that works with the decoy system or the Sky RC system, and it uses lasers and digital positioners and readouts. Yeah, it's a very 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 popular product, and I consider it. I'm probably more known for my stands, but I consider that my best product actually.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay,
yeah, it's very universal and people love it. Like you can get with the lasers and the positioners, you can get the dimensions you need for the CG into the G coin in like under a minute once the plane's on it.
oh cool.
I actually have a
Very
guy
nice.
right now who contacted me yesterday. I got to see what he's building, but he's got a plane that has a distance from the mains to the tail wheel of 154 inches. It's got to be bigger
Whoa.
than half scale. Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, it's like a 14-foot wingspan. So I got to build a jig that's got like 3 extensions on it and like an 8-foot long laser axis. And I think the mains width on that was almost 60 some inches. Yeah, it's just a monster.
Wow.
But it's a modular design, and I can add into that and make it as big as it needs to be. And then the laser coverage gets all the points that you need. So yeah, that was what that is. So the stand doesn't do CG. That's a complete separate product.
Very cool.
As far as products go, I mean,
Mhm.
I'm familiar with the rolling stands that
Mhm.
we're kind of talking about.
Yep.
I've also got behind you guys, but I've got the bench top stand, and I took a look at the CG unit when we were at Joe Knoll last year.
Yeah.
So those are, as far as I know, the three products that you're kind of focusing on. Is that correct?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, those are my three main products that I have right now. So they kind of show up as four on my website because you got the single beam stand, the
Ah,
dual beam stand,
yeah.
and then the jig and the bench top. Yeah. The single beam stand was the initial G1 design, and actually, Jonathan, the dual beam stand is only really in existence because of you.
Oh,
For
good.
the F-15, yeah, yep. I think we got together on the first one, and you gave me some feedback, and I know you were just at that time. I think it was, maybe March last year, maybe February. I don't know. You were prepping to do the F-15, the
Yeah.
XXL. Yeah. And I said, you know what? I have an idea in my head that I think would work for that, to handle those bigger airframes, just because I
Mm,
know that the single beam could handle it like weight wise.
yeah.
But when you start getting the saddles up a little higher from the center of gravity actually on the stand, you can get a
Yeah.
little, a little, I wouldn't call it wobbly, but the plane will sway and it just doesn't feel good. And I remember thinking, and I reached out to him like, "Are you interested in it?" You're like, "Heck yeah, let's see what that is." So I built that, came up with a gantry unit for that specifically, for that purpose. And the feedback and what I got when people saw it on your show was just outstanding. So I actually turned that into an actual product, and I think I've sold more of those now than the single beam. I
Yeah, I
have to
mean,
look at.
for me, like I would rather have something that works to the extreme and then I can scale it down, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And
Yep.
you'll see it on the upcoming the F4 videos. I mean, I've basically had the F4, which is behind me, the big Carf F4. I think it weighs 125 pounds or something like that. It's over 100 pounds, and it's on the dual beam stand, and it's been great. It's been living on that thing now for about 2 weeks.
That's great.
And it was fully assembled on there, put the wings on and everything. So it's been awesome. So yeah,
Cool.
it's good.
Yeah, I know in Tucson, I told I kind of hinted I might have something to roll out there. So I know you
Looking
said
forward.
125 pounds. I don't know what else is out there bigger. I'm sure like this plane I'm building a jig for. I'm sure there's bigger stuff out there. So we'll see what I
Yeah.
bring to Tucson, and I'll surprise you. Yeah, you might like
Awesome.
that.
Well, good. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't
Little
even
thing.
gotten any hints or anything, so it'll be a surprise for me as well
Yeah,
too. So,
yeah. I'm keeping it close under my hat. Yep. But
so one of the questions I'm interested in is how busy are you with this stuff?
yeah, that's how do I answer that? I have a full-time job that I do that I
Yeah.
enjoy. I've been there, at the same company for 25 years. I'm a production facilities manager. Um, I am so busy with Flyride RC right now. I think my backlog probably 15 days from order to a stand. Because this is like early mornings before work. I know
Mhm.
Jonathan, you understand this whole life. It's after work till 7, 8 o'clock till I can't keep my eyes open anymore. And it's weekends, probably 14 hours a day. It's just nonstop to keep up with it. And the reason being is because I produce every part for the stands myself.
Yeah.
I do it all in house. I cut everything on a CNC plasma cutter. All of the metal goes into a CNC drill. All of the plates are then taken over and powder coated. I powder coat all of the extrusion, the standard blacks, and I'm offering like orange, blue, green, red as some more standard colors, and then on top of that, all the custom color stuff. I powder
I'm
all
going
the
to
coat.
cut you off for a second,
Oh
and this is something too that, just to clarify, you're doing in-house powder coating. I know
yeah,
that's new
yeah,
for you, right?
yes, yeah. I started
Wow.
having that outsourced because I wanted to be able because the idea for the stands was I wanted what was ever sitting on top of that stand to look
Yeah.
better with my stand under it.
Yeah.
Call it jewelry, call it whatever. I wanted them to be pretty long as well as functional. So yeah, powder coating was something that I actually think like the red one that you had for the F-15
Yeah.
was one of the first ones that I did a custom color on. And I actually had a powder coat shop at the time doing that. but that got to be a nightmare to manage. You'd send your metal over there. It could be a day because I was small. These guys are doing big runs for large companies, and you are not a priority at all. So they put you in their batch lines, and it could be a day. It could be 2 weeks. They call you up and say your parts are ready, and then if I drill a hole in the wrong spot,
Yeah.
it was just horrible to manage. So the volume had increased to the point where I wanted to be able to offer all these colors, and I really did not want to have to rely on outsourcing. So I did. I made the leap, and I bought my own powder coating system, and I put it in. And I tell you what, that is probably the best thing that I have done for the business and the products that I can even mention. And it's rewarding too. Like, I get to play with all these really cool colors. The customers pick them out, like the candy reds. You might have seen some of those, and the color changing clears. I wouldn't just like do that stuff for myself, but now I get the opportunity with all the other requests and the custom jobs, and I really love it.
Well, and I think people, I mean, I know for myself, I want cool stuff. Like
Yeah.
if I get a stand, I mean, and we obviously we know about some of my clients as well too.
Yeah.
When they get a stand, they want it to be a one-off, right? They want
Yeah.
it to be original,
Yep.
unique,
Yep.
and special, right? So
Absolutely.
it's very cool when you can offer that stuff. So
No, and it's part of the fun too. It's like the custom labels, like the lighter side RC and yours, and I did a couple for David that have his name on it. That's all 3D printed stuff. There's a little bit of everything in the stands, like 3D printed parts and those kind of little details. But a lot of guys are coming to me with custom themes. Like
yeah,
they want to match their plane. Hey, can you do these colors? Can you, I did a Blue Angels theme
yeah,
for Chris. Yeah. He loved that. That was fantastic. So, you just kind of go down those roads, and then the creative ideas kind of just come at times, like the lights now.
yeah.
Those were kind of a gimmick that I thought, oh, would be fun, but actually, when I put them on the first stand, they were like unbelievably useful. So,
So do you feel now with the stand? I mean, I obviously you've got something new you're on bringing into Tucson, but do you feel
Mhm.
with the stands now that they're kind of refined enough where you're good? You're not going to make any big changes?
I don't know that there'll be any big changes. I think now where I'm branching out into most of the changes, the function of the stand works. Everything's been proven. People like it. The concept is good there. I don't have really like I have very, very, very little rework that I ever have to do or problems with the stands. Like I honestly sometimes just send out extra parts that people want because they like to have them on hand. But
Yeah.
I don't see any major refinements in it. Mostly now it's just the add-ons, like the trays. I have a third carrier that I want to do with a wing support. So you can, have a carrier in the middle between the two with a
Mhm.
T on it. And then you can have it would slide over and just touch the end of a wing.
Yeah.
If you're using the regular form saddles, it would keep the plane from tipping if you just have one wing on it. So I'm going to offer that as add-ons and things. That way people can kind of pick and choose what they want and tailor the
Yeah.
stand to their needs. But refinement wise, I don't know. I don't know what else I would really need to do. I do always kind of like change shapes, maybe make things look a little better, maybe be some
Yeah.
refinements in just, aesthetics. But
Cool.
functionality, I think
Um,
I'm in.
I'm gonna step away from the camera for a
Sure.
second here. Some things that I really
So while John's stepping away,
Yeah.
John might know this, but what do you do for your daytime job? What field are you in, I should say?
So I'm in production. I work for a company that produces radiators, and I am a plant manager. So I've got a 25-year career in production with metalworking. I was industrial maintenance for a long time doing that. So I kind of take a lot of my experience with the machinery and the production methods, and I've kind of turned that into, useful tools that I need to make production here a little more efficient. Like the use of CNCs and some of that stuff, plasma
Looks like you got
cutters,
a nice
CNC
tall
cutters.
shop behind you.
Yeah, it's a mess right now. Believe me, I have kind of smoothed it over a little bit so it looks better on camera. But yeah, it's an absolute mess. I'm so
Is that a
busy, I just don't have time to clean. But
basement? What is that? A garage, basement, real shop? What is that?
yeah, so I'll try to keep this short. But like 4 years ago, I moved back to the farm that I grew up on. My mom needed some help, so I purchased the farm from her. My dad was into classic cars. He did a lot of classic car restoring, and he would trade them, buy them, sell them, enjoy them, whatever. But he had several, I should say several. He had about 3 shops set up out here to work on his cars.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, and they kind of got cluttered, with stuff. And when I bought the house from mom, I cleaned them all up and I was starting just to get back because I did this when I was a kid. I was like 13 years old flying airplanes out here, and I always looked at the field and I was like, oh, I'd like to put a runway out there. Dad would be like, no, you're not doing that. He had his ideas, but I always wanted to, get back into the hobby. I kind of got away from it when I was, raising a family. And when I moved back out here, kind of looked at the shop and I looked at the field and I thought, all those memories came back from when I was a kid and got back into the hobby. And I said, that's going to be my hobby shop. So I kind of turned it into that. And then from here, it's become a very useful, actually unbelievably important part of Fly-Rite. I do everything here. So
What state are you in?
I'm in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I got lucky. When I was a kid, 13, I got into this. Mayville's a small little city. Nobody's ever heard of it. I don't expect you guys to hear, but within Mayville was a gentleman who's probably one of the most legendary scratch builders in the RC hobby, and his name's Carl Bachhuber. Maybe you've heard of him, maybe you haven't, but he did some very monster scratch builds, multi-engine planes. He was well known. If you look him up, you probably recognize some of the airplanes he built. He was 5 miles away, and I was a friend with his son. And I was telling him one day I'm getting into RC planes, and I was a 13-year-old kid, and he's like, "Yeah, my dad does that." And I was like, "Sure, he does," And he's like, "Come on over, I'll show you." And I went in his basement, and he had a Dauntless that he was working on. It was a scratch built. I think it had a 140-inch wingspan, and I was absolutely floored and hooked on the hobby ever since. Like,
Wow.
so yeah, when I came back out here, I kind of it was, I had to do it, and I love every
Yeah.
minute of it.
Yeah, it's nice having a runway on your own property.
Yeah, you avoid a lot of
Me.
drama.
Yeah.
What I was grabbing while I stepped away was some of the things that Ben's come up with for the stands. This is one of the trays. So the tray just clips into the channels. Yeah, the extrusion. So clips in.
Yep.
There's a couple different sizes. Absolutely love this thing. So
That's cool.
I've started using your stands, Ben, for pretty much most of the assembly process on most projects. So I used to use the benches and stuff, but
Yeah.
not so much anymore. And then the other thing is the spool holder as well too. So same thing, clips into the extrusion or the piece of the stand,
Yep.
and has the spool holder. I don't think I gave you the proper weight when you were designing this.
Okay.
So the most common spools that I use are going to be like 100-meter power box
Okay.
spool,
Yeah,
which is
well,
328 feet of wire.
Yep.
I actually have started getting in the 200-meter spools, and they probably weigh like close to 10, 12 pounds or something.
okay.
And
Yeah.
no problem with that at all. So
Well, that's good. See?
that's been good. So
Good feedback. Appreciate
it's
it.
a big heavy spool. So yeah, it works out well. The other thing I was going to ask you about, and I brought that sitting here as well too, and I just started working on the P47. You have been bringing in some cowl flap kits.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'll pop in the camera here exactly what it is. So just in the process of getting this installed for the P47, so nothing's fastened yet, but I gotta say this kit transforms this aircraft.
cool.
Before we
Yeah.
started the recording here, I messaged Ben and sent him that picture of that.
That's
that
actually. Can you show the inside of it? Is that actually
Yeah.
active?
operational
Yep.
cowl flaps.
Those are all metal. Every piece on that cowl system is metal and handmade. So those are made by a gentleman in Brazil, Elfio Schuerman. He is just an unbelievable craftsman. I got the same plane, the Carf P47, sitting back here a while ago, and I think I ran across a picture of one of those on Facebook somewhere, and I thought to myself, "Oh, I've got to find where to get those." I asked a couple people, and nobody knew. I wound up I got a hold of Elcio. And yeah, sure enough, he's like, "Yeah, hand make them." We started chatting, and I wanted a set for myself. And through the conversations, we had numerous conversations. I actually wound up becoming a distributor for him. I said, "Hey, I can help you get these to market in the United States. I'd love to, carry them on my website and be the exclusive distributor for these in the U.S." And he agreed to it. And as it was, he was coming to Oshkosh. I live close to the EAA, big air show every year that they have there. He was coming from Brazil with some friends to see the show. So he brought me, I think maybe 5 of each units for the P47 and for the Corsair.
Mhm.
So I'm planning on stocking those. I have a few left of each. I'm going to get a hold of him here in a little bit and see if we can get some more early this year, but I will list those on my website. But yeah, if you're building that airplane, it's a must have. Like you hook them
Yeah,
up to the temp sensor and have
yeah.
them come open with.
What do they retail for?
I sell on my website for 1,050 for the Corsair and 1,100 for the P47. Oh, sorry, other
Yeah.
way around.
Um,
1,050 for the P47. Yeah,
like I look at the amount of craftsmanship and time and parts and stuff that go into that,
it's
and
crazy. Yep.
it's crazy. I would happily spend more money on it than what he charges. So
Good to know. Yeah,
How
that's
many servos are
what's
driving
that.
that? How many
Say
servos are driving that?
one,
Just one. Yep.
Just one servo.
yeah,
Yep.
All of those flaps.
Yep.
yeah. It's a whole band system. It's incredible how it
Yeah.
works. It really is.
Yeah, he came
I,
up with that. I would never attempt to produce something like that. It's
yeah,
just too much. But
yeah. It's
Yeah.
beyond
That's
me for
crazy.
sure.
yeah,
I just started installing that. So I just started the P47 this morning. I was actually really worried about the install of that, obviously, because you're cutting the existing
yep,
cowl and everything.
yep.
It's so I'm ready to start gluing, and it probably took me an hour
Wow.
to get everything set up. It's actually very simple.
Oh, that's awesome. Good to
Yeah,
hear.
like the painting of it's going to be more complicated than
Right.
anything else. So
Right. Yep.
yeah,
I got
Yeah.
lucky. I don't have to scheme on mine yet. It's a little bit easier, but yeah, like if you have to, some of those, if you have to match that, it could be I could
yeah,
see
no,
that
but
being more
very
fun.
cool units. So obviously will put a link to your website as well too. But if you guys are watching this and you're interested in either the Carf P47 or the Corsair
Yeah.
as well too, so we do have we have 2 Corsairs that we're doing this year as well here at the shop, and then we've got cowl flaps for both of those Corsair kits as well too. So
And it's, I
looking
believe
forward to it.
they're made for the F4U1. I think
Yes.
Carpenter, yeah, they're making
Yeah,
an
we
F4U4
should
now.
clarify that too. And
Yeah.
you can get so my friend Stacy just ordered his Corsair kit like let's say a few months ago.
Yeah.
So his kit is the new kit, the
Okay.
F4U, but he specified to them that he wants the old cowl so the
Yeah.
cowl flaps will work.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that if you're ordering your Carve Corsair. So
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I was really happy to be able to carry those. I want to start doing more of that. I want to start bringing what I feel are innovative products to the market, whether I can produce them myself or not.
yeah.
Um, I love that part of the hobby. I love to see people's innovations. Anything that makes the hobby better, more enjoyable for people, more scale. That to me is where my interest is and what I
Mhm.
really enjoy to do is see that come to life and see people enjoy it more. But
Yeah.
What's your long-term goal? Is it to quit the 9 to 5 and do what you're doing with Fly
yeah, I
Rifle?
think so. Yeah, it's always been my dream. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always had an interest in that and, just entrepreneurship in general.
Right.
This all came together just out of a love for the hobby and, finding a need for the where I felt where there's some gaps, in the tools that were out there and some of the stuff, but wasn't really intentional. I think a lot of small businesses start that way, just, out of
Right.
need or out of, just pure love for whatever they're doing. But
Right.
yeah, no, I would love to do that. I think I could probably make that work now if I want to, but again, I do enjoy my career, my full-time job, and I don't know that I'm ready to take that step yet, but I am definitely I don't get any breaks.
It's
Feel
funny. I
bad for
think
my wife
we're
giving me who I am sometimes, but
I think the 3 of us are very much in the same situation.
Yeah.
I was at a luncheon meeting. So I work as well, same thing, 9 to 5, Monday to Thursday.
yeah.
The owner of the company that I work for and the management and stuff like that, they know what I do, like
Mhm.
this. And one of the things they asked me at the luncheon the other day was like, "Oh, we hope you're sticking around, right? Because they know this is successful and all that stuff."
Mhm.
And I said, "Well, honestly, the going to work Monday to Thursday is a nice escape
Yep.
from this too, right? Like
Yep.
when I'm here, like today is Friday, I'm going to be working 16 hours in the shop
Sure.
today.
Yeah.
And same thing tomorrow, same thing on
Yep.
Sunday, right? So
Yep.
it is a nice escape sometimes to go to work,
Oh, for
and
sure.
which is easy.
Well,
So,
and I think too, like maybe a lot of people don't quite get it, but you see on YouTube and you just assume you're talking to the camera.
yeah.
You assume you have, company there. Maybe people are there with you, but probably not. You're alone in your shop, 14, 15 hours a day. If you're filming, I'm sure you can't have music on because
Yeah.
so you're like,
It's on, it's off, it's on, it's
yeah,
off.
right, exactly. Yeah, you're kind of there with your own thoughts most of the time. And,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't mind going to work either, but just because, you get a little bit of a social interaction with the guys that spent a long time with. And yeah, I agree with that. Totally.
Yeah. It's the complete opposite for me, but that's okay. I just every hour I spend at work puts me an hour behind on filling orders or doing something
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
it's just there's that other aspect of it as well, right, John? Because I'm
Yeah.
sure those hours that you spend at work during the day, you would get a lot more done on what you're doing if you weren't working.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and for me, it's actually so my wife Katie, she's been helping out a ton over the past few months. Like she's taken over video editing, all the orders now. When people order something,
Yeah.
she's doing all the packing and the ordering. I just drop them off at the
Yeah.
location, so that's actually a huge time saver too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been wonderful.
Yeah, same. I have my wife Stacy too. I've enlisted her to help, and she does a lot of the same stuff. And she actually builds the benchtop stand.
Nice.
Oh,
Hands
cool.
off to her. Yeah, I've trained her to build them, and she obviously print all the parts and have all that stuff together. But yeah,
Yeah.
she does a fantastic job putting those together. And man, I sure appreciate it because there's a good amount of work in all of these. I think in a dual beam stand, I've probably got between cutting all the parts and coating everything and putting it all together, assembling it, shipping it. I probably got 6 hours in each one of those stands.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
I was just
Um,
going to ask that. So you're building to order, basically.
yes.
You're not building a bunch and then putting them up as inventory. You're actually when somebody clicks order,
Yep.
you're building it out.
Couple of reasons for that. Yeah, I think in my mind I initially had, you'll build, 10 black ones and 10 blue ones and put them on the shelf and ship them out. But just the volume of orders that comes in, for one, I can't do that. And two, now with all the custom options, it's just easier for me to keep resource on hand. If somebody wants adjustable saddles, okay, I'll print the saddles, I'll pull what I need. It's probably a
Mhm.
different color. If they order a stand and the saddles together, I'll custom, if they do like that green Sherbert, like we're doing with the giveaway stand, something like that, I'll do the saddles and everything matching. So all the components and all that are matching. So yeah, it just kind of makes more sense. And I think people in the hobby, I'm lucky because everybody, like you're waiting for some of these plane kits to come from overseas, you're talking 6, 8 months sometimes. I think people are very patient.
Yeah.
But along with that, there's some standards that have to come and you have to deliver a very quality product. I don't think they're okay waiting as long as what they get in the end is something that just blows them away. They forget about the time frame. But yeah, I started 7 days. I think last year I was like trying to do everything in 7 days. Now I'm probably like 2 weeks, on a stand when it gets ordered.
I just got to pause for a sec, guys.
Yep.
I think my plane is here.
Oh, cool. Fun.
I'll pause it. I'll actually pause it.
One here, which is completely unusual for
Oh my
Wisconsin.
For
gosh.
Wisconsin, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so before John walked away, I was actually going to ask you. You were talking about how you built to order and stuff like that. I think with a kind of like a business mind as well. Have you been approached by anybody like Car, for instance, saying, "Hey, we want to have your stuff on our store"? Like,
No, I've had a couple conversations last year with Aero Panda. I would like to, if I probably branch with anybody, it would be them. They're just a fantastic group of people, and they carry so much stuff that's just in common with everything I do. And market wise too, I like the jet market. Obviously those guys can afford the dual beam custom stands and things like that. But just honestly, it comes down to, as much as I'd like to do that, I just don't have the time to probably supply what they would need. I have thought about some ways to maybe scale differently, where it would be sell more of a kit version of the stand, where there'd be more assembly by the end user.
Okay.
But in my head, I haven't been able to get away from that because I really like the factor of opening the box. And other than, the 20 minutes it takes you away to cut the saran wrap that
Yeah.
I hear about that, but they're like 20 minutes to cut the saran wrap and 2 minutes to get the stand set up, I like
That's
that
not-
instant
That's not a
gratification.
bad problem, though. That's
Yeah.
actually a great problem.
I don't like taking chances. The last thing I want to hear is like, hey, it got damaged in shipping, and it happens, and I hate it.
I don't overpack all of my stuff too.
Yeah.
My wife thinks
Yep.
I'm crazy.
I go
Well, and
nuts.
truthfully, Ben, like the first thing I thought about when you said maybe supplying a kit stand is you lose the quality control
Yeah,
aspect.
absolutely. 100%. Yep. I do not like to, sometimes I think it's me. Do I need to let go of this a little bit and, back off on what I feel, I can do or how it should be and allow somebody else to do that. But you're completely right, and to get to a point, I think where you have your processes and your production refined to where somebody could assemble a stand with, a high rate of quality success. There's some adjustments that I have to make to each stand. They all maybe come off a little bit different off of the drill press or, where I want to make sure that when it gets there, everything's locking in, everything's working. So yeah, I haven't been able to get away from that yet, but I may do that in the future because obviously when you think about it, most of my users are very, very skilled individuals who are building, very, very the aircraft is complicated, and the stand is the easiest part about all of it. So I probably just need to do that at some point.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to think about, right? How to scale
Yeah,
and keep your quality and perfectionism and everything else all the same.
absolutely. Yeah,
So
yeah. To
I
me,
get it.
that's the most important part about delivering a product is I want to make sure that one, you're delivering a very, very quality product, and two, that you have the time to support the customer however they need to be supported after the sale. Um,
Yeah.
I really respect that people's hobby money is spent on my products. I'm very thankful for that. But, to me, that's a great responsibility to make sure that they're getting what they feel is that it's worth it. And in the end, that they feel like a valued customer when they come back to me, even 6 months later for parts. Typically I just send them what they need because I'm like, yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like all my customers are part of the family. They're part of the Flyride RC family, and I brand recognition and word of mouth is huge in these small communities. And I think
It's
that's
a
just
very small
vital.
community.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. John, we were talking while you were away, and he's a FR Sky guy too. He showed
Yeah.
me his radio and
Oh,
everything.
I know. I
Oh
know.
boy.
It's so awesome. One day you'll come to the dark side. One day.
Me?
Yeah. One
Yeah,
day
You're
right.
you'll
close.
join
I
one
use
day
I
you'll
use
join us. You will join the dark
I thought you were
side.
talking about Ben coming to the dark side of Jetty,
No,
which is
no,
actually
no,
the
no,
light
no,
side.
no,
So,
no. Nope. He's on the
yeah,
right side right now. He knows all the benefits. He's got a gorgeous radio.
yeah.
well, that's
I
good. I'm
remember
glad.
I
He knows
remember
all the
when we went to Joel and all together last year, I had just met you and David, and we were kind of driving. And I think within the first 5 minutes of our conversation, David's like, "So Ben, what radio do you use?" And I'm like, "Oh,
You know what was going to
yeah,
happen.
tell
It's
me."
a tough conversation. It is.
Oh,
You won't believe this, but I actually got my we do a trade-in program, right, John? I'm the
Yeah.
only dealer that does the trade-in program.
Yeah.
I have a Jetty on the way, a DS12
Good.
for a Pro. Somebody traded in a Jetty for a Pro. It's the first time it's happened. I get tons of
Wow.
Spectrum trade-ins,
Yeah.
but I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm actually excited because I haven't gotten a chance to play with a Jetty
hmm
and like feel it and hold it and touch it, and I'm
Yeah,
not
the
Jetty makes
12
really
is the 12 is kind of a nice radio. The first time I saw one was 2 years ago at Montana. There was a fellow there that was a Jetty user, and he had a DS12, and we set up a plane on that radio, and it's a really nice more basic radio, right? But
it's small. It's one of the lower ones, right? Because they make the
yeah,
24.
yeah,
And
it's I don't know anything about the 12 as far as price and stuff.
right,
Just a scaled down version, right? So,
right,
but
right.
still
No,
very user friendly. So,
I'm
I
very
think
excited to get it. I want to play with
mhm.
it.
I think
Yeah,
for most
yeah,
people, with the radio systems, like once you get comfortable programming one, there's not a lot of time to spend in the hobby the way it is, and when you got to start, like if you're transferring everything over and you got like 6 planes and all of a sudden you're going to switch from Jetty to FR Sky to Jetty, there is a lot of time investment in learning a new system. They're all different, even though they're similar. And it's like, do you really want to take your time away from doing what you love to do to learn a new system? I did that with Radio Master to Jetty or to FR Sky because I wanted the redundant 900 megahertz. And at the time, that's what I could afford. So I went with that, and I was familiar with the Edge system, and, the Ethos system was very similar. So to me, it was kind of a quicker, for me to learn that system. Jetty, I have no experience with. I mean, obviously it's an unbelievable radio system. I'm sure it's great, but and if I did switch, I know I'd be calling John a lot.
Well, it's vice versa with me too. Like, so my simulator, I use my Radio Master for it, and like
Okay.
I don't even know how to set up a basic function on the Radio
Yep.
Master. I have no clue. So I'm just like, I use it for
Wow.
4 channels, and like I use the keyboard for flaps and stuff, because I have no idea how to set that up.
Yeah.
But
It's
one of
not
my
that hard.
friends flies Powerbox, and
Okay.
there's quite a few Powerbox guys around us, but he was
yeah.
asking for help, and he'd have to drive 3 hours, and he's like, John, can you help me set this plane up on Powerbox? I'm like, I don't have time, man. Like, I have to
Yeah.
learn a whole new radio system
Right.
to set the
Yep.
plane up. And he actually got around that. He bought one of my planes, and he's like, the only way we're doing this deal is if you set this plane up on my radio. So I actually had to take the time. It was
Boy.
about a full day of learning
Yeah.
how to set up the plane on the Powerbox stuff, right?
Yeah.
How was it programming with the Powerbox stuff? I'm actually
Um,
I don't want you to bash Powerbox or anything.
Oh no,
like that.
it's just different, right? Like once
Right.
once you know it, it wouldn't be so bad. They do have some areas where they're I would say lacking. You can get all the functionality you need, but some of the stuff is not as easy to work around as even like Spectrum or Jetty or anything like that, right? So it's just a different system. You just have to get used to it. So
I've seen some videos on JR's like user system on the radio and setting up a plane, and I think JR's got actually a really nice, easy.
well, the thing about JR is because JR and Spectrum were intertangled, I mean, a long time ago, right? Like
Mhm.
most guys growing up in the hobby, if you know how to program a Spectrum radio,
Right.
the Jetty is basically the same type of thing, right? Or not Jetty, sorry, JR is the same type of thing, because a lot of that stuff just transferred over. And
Right.
that's kind of what most people know, right?
Yeah.
In the hobby world, unless you've used something else for a really long time. But yeah, it's easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you-
That's the biggest concern I get from a lot of customers switching over. Like
Mhm.
you were saying, Ben, with the time and just the frustration of learning a new radio.
Mhm.
Yep.
And honestly, that's where I spend most of my customer service time. If we're
Yep.
talking about like busy hours, like there's days where I will spend 3, 4 hours a day walking people through stuff, the stabilization, stuff like that on the radio
Yep.
that have come
Yep.
from a different system. And let's be honest, our hobby's aging a little bit, right? And I have people who've been flying Spectrum for 20 years.
Mhm.
And now all of a sudden they're going to like more of a like a computer-based system, which is not super easy for them to learn and
Yeah.
pick up. They're not
Yeah.
very,
Yep.
you know, computer savvy. Some of them are in their 70s to 80s, let's say,
Yep.
picking up the radio. So it's definitely I think that's the biggest opportunity for a lot of these radio manufacturers is if you can make something that like mirrors basically like an iPhone, like,
Yeah.
push a button, app opens up and,
Yep.
not like Android based, but like iPhone based. I think that's where if somebody does that, that'll be the one that rules the roost, to be honest with you. The
For
easier
sure.
it is to set something up, that
Yeah.
would be the radio system that
That's
rolls.
what I was gonna say. Simplicity. People wanna when you're risking a lot of money every time you're putting up one of these jets, and you want, the way to guarantee success in that is like what Jonathan does, the repeatability in your systems. You know what works, you
Yep.
stick with it. It's tested and proven, and you don't really have to. There's not a lot, that you're going to have to worry about because you have some new component or something like that. You trust it. And I
Mhm.
think for people, that's a big barrier, when switching with systems is like, I know what works. This works for me. I have good results. Why would I want to switch? It could be better. Maybe you do it and you get there and you're like, hey, this does work. But, there's a lot to think about when you're doing that stuff. So I am not brand loyal, really, honestly. I think there's people in like myself, you fit into a certain, what you can afford and what you want to spend. And, you find what works in that. And I think once you learn something, you kind of stick with it.
It's okay. After the show, give me your address. I'll send you an I Love FR Sky t-shirt. You can wear it next time you see John. I have them in all sizes. So we're coming up to the segment where we ask, all right, if you were to go out flying tomorrow, right? What is your favorite type of plane to fly or your favorite model? And
So,
then the second part is how many of your own personal planes do you have? We ask
okay.
everybody.
Whew. where do I start with that one? Okay, again, because I have my own little grass runway. It's like 500 feet long, 100 feet wide.
Right.
My go-to everyday plane is a 144-inch Bushmaster or 140-inch turbo Bushmaster.
Everybody loves that
I
plane.
absolutely love that airplane. Like,
Everybody
just
loves that plane.
love it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I had a big decathlon before that, and I had a unfortunate incident with that and the ground. So that one isn't with me. And like, I've always wanted a Bushmaster, and I wound up being able to find one in the area, and I bought that last year. And man, I just love it.
Nice.
So I don't have a lot of opportunity to fly the jets, even though I have several. I have a couple big Carp Hawks that I really, really, really love, and right now they're just kind of showroom show queens sitting on a shelf. You know, I look at them and I remember the day when I used to be able to work on them, and I'd like to get back there. Yeah,
Enjoy life. Yep,
Yeah.
I get it.
exactly.
I get it.
I've got right above me here. I got a. Got my phone. I got a big fifth scale F16. That's someday I would love to work on.
Cool.
I don't know that I'll ever get there. Yeah, behind me I have a Carp P47 with a Mulkey on it. I bought that last year, and again with wanting to work on it and figuring I could, but Flyride is just taking up so much of my time. I haven't had a chance, so I'll get there. I've got a top RC behind me too. That would probably be that one I'd like to get together. I'm putting an AR in there as well, advanced radio S20 Pro. So I'll kind of walk down that whole path with you and that. But that one I'm hoping to have. Maybe I can get a couple days together here and get that ready before spring and fly that one this year. But yeah. So and I was just saying before, I got a small little FPV system at Christmas time. You know, just to take outside, and boy, I tell you, I have more fun with that than
Isn't it a
anything.
blast?
It's
So much
man, like the whole first person idea of flying, and like it's just so cool. Like I'll just put it on, I'll step outside my door and I'll fly, you know, in between all the trees, and I'll harass the chickens. And
What goggle setup did you get with that? Was that the
what'd you say? Which what?
what goggles came with that?
So it was the Protos Complete set.
Right. So I do believe you can buy separate cameras for those goggles. So
Okay.
so your next step is take that Bushmaster, plop a camera on it, and then go fly, and then you'll be hooked. I
So-
stopped flying line of sight, so all of my planes behind me.
No,
have
I know.
cameras on me.
I actually did that before I bought the Proto set. I had bought I believe it was the black, it was the Avatar set. And then I had it's got the camera, the head tracking unit. I haven't set it up yet, but yeah, my intention was to put that back on my, I've got an X Cub sitting back there hanging from the ceiling.
Nice.
And to throw that on my X Cub and fly around the farm. And then that's probably what I'll do. Hopefully get some time this spring to do that too. But it's so cool.
Quadcopters are fun.
Yep.
Then flying, and I started out flying with the quadcopters too, and the
Yeah.
race quads, and doing backflips and diving through holes and stuff like that, having all kinds of fun with it. But then
Yeah.
when I put a camera on a plane, it was just like you're a bird.
You are.
It's a-
Yep.
You're a bird. It's a completely different experience. Like
It really is. Yep.
like my first FPV plane was a Bixler, a Hobby King Bixler. It's kind
Okay.
of like a little glider model, right?
Yeah.
And the funnest part I had was just hanging out up there and just kind of like
Yeah.
floating around and just,
Right.
and I was like, this is so much fun, just floating
It is.
around. And then I started putting them on warbirds and stuff like that and having a lot
Yeah.
of fun. It's a good
Yeah.
time. I'm glad.
I'll be getting there for sure. Yeah, that is a good time. You know, yeah. I look at my shop and I'm like, just to scratch the itch. I'll just take that thing outside, and it's so much fun, and it really does it. Yeah.
Yeah. We got to make sure we all, make time to fly. You're going to join Wall?
Yes, I plan to. Yep. I'd like to get out there again this year, and
What about-
Tucson as well in Tucson in like 20 days.
yeah, that's 20 days.
I looked at the calendar this morning. I was like, okay, so I have 3 weekends to finish 4 planes.
Oh boy, yeah.
So, yeah,
Better get cracking, buddy.
I'm trying.
What about Toledo? Are you going to Toledo?
I have no plans for Toledo. No. Again, with the day job. Yeah, no, it really isn't. No, I think probably 7 hours. Ohio. Yeah, it's not that far. Yep. Yeah, I could make that. Again, day job and just staying on top of the orders and stuff like that. I have to kind of limit the shows that I can do. So I really try to, Turbines and Tumbleweeds was a fantastic event. I want to hit that one again this year in October for sure. That was great. Donal, and then Tucson, I'm really looking forward to. That'll be my first time there. So to see Jonathan, David, I have a couple customers out in Arizona. Chris, like
Yeah, Chris will be there as well.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, you're kind of freaking me out with the time frame here. Time just moves so fast. And
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
here I said I'm gonna roll something. I'm like, can I really pull this off? But
I had that panic attack last night. Actually, I had that same panic attack because I have a small show coming up next weekend, local, and then after that, I have the Pennsylvania show, which we're like the main sponsor for,
oh,
and I'm not ready for any of that. And then like a couple weeks after that is Toledo, and then a couple weeks after that is Knoll. Like they're all like a month apart, and it's
sure.
just, yeah.
I like to I'm sponsoring a show now. I can't remember the name of it. It's in Switzerland. It's a pretty big show over there, and they reached out to me and asked if I would support them. And I love doing stuff like that. So I always, will donate a stand to it and send it over there. Maybe I sell these stands all over the world. I think I've sold on every continent now, other than Antarctica. Maybe they're flying airplanes there. I don't know if they are, but
That's really cool. I was just going to ask you that. So you are shipping overseas?
yeah, I ship overseas. Yeah, Australia, I think Israel, Dubai. I mean, UK, Singapore.
Right? Like shipping for because they're kind of
Really
heavy.
not that bad. No, my stand boxes, I use the same box for the dual beam or the single beam. It's like a 60-inch long by 8x8 box. And
Okay.
I just ordered one this morning in Israel. It was like $180. And that sounds like a lot, but that's a long ways across the world,
Yeah.
One thing I want to bring up too is, and you're a very nice guy, and I don't expect you to say all this stuff, but anybody who's watching, Ben has donated a ton of stuff. I mean, we've done giveaways here on the channel. We have a giveaway happening right now. So on the F4 video series, if you watch the very first video, we are doing the giveaway in 8 days. I'm not sure when this is going to come out, but March 7th.
By Sunday. So
Okay.
today is the 27th.
So yeah, if you're watching this, we have a giveaway coming up. So watch F4 video number 1 from Carf. When we were at Turbines and Tumbleweeds, I think you donated 2 stands. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that's pretty huge with the amount of time and money that these things cost you. It's a huge thing. So.
Well, I like the involvement. Again, it's all about the community, and I know, for yourself, using my products. I always want to thank your viewers who are supporting you. They're supporting the hobby. It's like, I think the best way to do that is to give back. And I feel that's important. So I always like to do whatever I can, as long as I can, to support this hobby and make it better for people, and is a priority for me. So no, I appreciate your comments with that.
I agree with that. All right, gents. I think we asked him a million questions, got all the information we wanted to get out of him. It was a real pleasure, Glenn. Hopefully I'll get to see you at Joe Knoll.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You have a booth there? Does Fly Right have a booth there?
So no, it's kind of hard for me to travel and take stuff. Last year, I kind of Aeropana hosted me, and I'll reach out to Manny and see if he's willing to do that again, and I'll just kind of hang around over there, whether I'll have products there or not. But I will definitely be there.
Yeah.
So
I'll
be
I'll
there
get
as
that
well.
into the whole. What's that?
We'll be there as well.
Yeah, I cannot wait.
What shirt size are you for that t-shirt? I'll bring that.
Yeah, I'm a large. Yeah, I'm a large. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to wear that to Joe Knoll, and then David won't talk to me. So.
I have plenty of those. I'll get you one of those. Little I Heart FR Sky on it.
Yeah.
All right, gents. Have a great
Cool.
weekend. Thank you
Thanks,
for coming
guys.
on, Ben.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Yep.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.